Nitil Pravishwara Shatarashata Shimar Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Gosvāmī Mahārāja Śrīla Gurudev Ki Jai. Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatarashata Shimar Bhakti Vedanta Vaman Gosvāmī Mahārāja Ki Jai. Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatarashata Shimar Bhakti Vedanta Swami Mahārāja Śrīla Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatarashata Shimar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Gosvāmī Mahārāja Ki Jai. Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatarashata Shimar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosvāmī Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nitil Pravishta Maha Bhagavat Shilgoksharas Babaji Mahārāja Ki Jai. Nitil Pravishta Shila Satchir Anda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Nitil Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Shila Jagannath Das Babaji Mahārāja Ki Jai. Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai. Shri Srila Baladevi Vijabhushan Prabhu Ki Jai. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Nartam Srinivas Shamananda Prabhu Trai Ki Jai. Srila Lokanātha Gosvāmī Par Ki Jai. Tadiya Shubha Tirobhav Titi Ki Jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Gosvāmī Par Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Bhattadas Raghunath Sharda Gosvāmī Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaura-parṣada Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Kshetra Mandala Gaura Mandala Vraja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Sarva Abhishta Padatta Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Radha Kunda Shama Kund Ki Jai. Shri Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi Ki Jai. Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai. Shri Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya Ki Jai. Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Chaturmasa Vrat Ki Jai. Vrat Palankari Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Gaur. Hari Bol everybody. Sudevi Dandavat Pranams Madhavi Didi, Ganga Didi, Raseshwari Mataji. Hari Bol everybody. Okay, I wasn't able to find, I'm reading from this book, Shri Caitanya and His Associates by Srila Bhakti Ballabha Tīrtha Gosvāmī Mahārāja. And I couldn't find this online. One of these days I need to scan this book so that I can share my screen. But, okay, actually let me just look one more time. Bhakti Ballabha Tīrtha. Let's see what happens when I type that up. Oh, cool. I found it. Okay, great. So now I can just share you guys can read along with me. Let's see if I can make this in reader. Okay. I'm still going to be reading from the physical book because lots of times there are differences because, yeah, they made a new edition. But I'll try to sync them up. Reading from Srila Bhakti Ballabha Tīrtha Gosvāmī Mahārāja. Yeah. 1 second, just see. Hari Bol Prajumna Prabhu and Mantra Murti Mataji. Okay. Oh, and 1 second, I just want to check to make sure the mic is working. I forgot to do that beforehand. Audio, yes it is. Great. Lokanātha Gosvāmī Śrīla Manjari Pura. Lokanath Goswami was known as Leela Manjari and Krishna Leela. That's from Gaura-parṣada Dipika 187. Leela Manjari, interesting. Lokanath Goswami is considered to be Mahaprabhu's direct disciple and associate. Prior to coming to Navadvip, he lived in the village of Talkori in the Kishore district of present-day Bangladesh. Prior to that, he lived in Kanchanapura. His father's name was Padmanabha Chakravarti, and his mother was Sita Devi. This is confirmed by the Bhakti Ratnakar. Srimad Radha Vinodaika Seva Sampat Samantam Padmanabha Shrimal Lokanātha Prabhum Bhaje. I worship Lokanātha Prabhu, the son of Padmanabha, whose life revolved around the wealth of service of his deity Radha Vinod. That's from Bhakti Ratnakar 1-97. The descendants of Lokanath Goswami's brother Pragalbha Bhattacharya are still living in Talkori. Bhugarbha Goswami was Lokanath Goswami's closest friend and constant companion. He was Prem Manjari and Vraj. That's Gaura-parṣada Dipika 187. Bhugarbha Thakurasya Sit Purvakya Prema Manjari. According to the Sadhan Dipika, Bhugarbha Goswami was Lokanath Goswami's paternal uncle. The Shaka Nirnayamrita adds the following comments on Bhugarbha Goswami. Govinam cha bhugarbham bhugarbhotam suvishrutam sada mahashayam vandishna prema pradam prabhu. Śrīla Govinda Devasya Seva Sukha Vilasinam Tayalum Premadam Svacham Nityam Ananda Vigraham. I offer reverence to the illustrious Bhugarbha Prabhu, who is said to be born from the bowels of the earth. He bestows love of Krishna. He takes pleasure in the service of, is compassionate, simple, and always joyful. Bhugarbha Goswami's initiating guru was Gadadhar Pandit. He is therefore considered to be Gadadhar's branch of the Caitanya tree. Sri Bhagavat Das, a fellow disciple of Srila Gadadhar Pandit Goswami, was his close friend. Bhugarbha Goswami and Bhagavat Das are branches of Gadadhar Pandit. Both of them went to live in Vrindavan. That's from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila 1281. Lokanath Goswami and Bhugarbha, I just check everything is working. Having connection issues. Dang it. Hari Bol, Kishore Prabhu. Lokanath Goswami renounced the householder ashram in 1510, 1431 of the Shaka era, and came to meet Mahaprabhu in Navadvip. Mahaprabhu immediately told him to go and live in Vrindavan, telling him that it was his own intention to take sannyas very shortly and go there himself. Lokanath Goswami started to cry when he imagined the Lord with his beautiful curly hair shorn, and when his beautiful curly hair shorn, and the stress of the devotees would feel sannyas. When the Lord saw Lokanātha's anxiety, he embraced him and consoled him with his mystical words, and Lokanātha Gosvāmī surrendered completely to him. When Gosvāmī saw how unhappy Lokanātha Gosvāmī was, he decided to accompany him to Vrindavan. The two companions through Rajmahal, Tajpur, Purnia, Ayodhya, Lak, many places before finally arriving in Vraj. Though he had come to Vrindavan on Mahaprabhu's order, Lokanātha Gosvāmī conceived intense separation from the Lord and shed copious tears in his desire to see him again. When he received the news that Mahaprabhu had taken sannyas and gone to Puri, and from there to the south on pilgrimage, Lokanātha Gosvāmī hurried to southern India in order to join him. When he arrived in the south, he heard that Mahaprabhu was no longer there, but had gone. Oh my God. That's a good. Thanks, Manjari Didi. Where was I? That's so sad. So when he arrived in could you imagine going to India by foot? Takes like 48 hours by train to go from Vrindavan to South India, or longer even. So when he received Mahaprabhu, when he arrived in the south, he heard Mahaprabhu was no longer there and had gone to Vrindavan. Lokanātha Gosvāmī immediately set off for Vrindavan, hoping to see the Lord there. But by the time he arrived, he heard the Lord had gone to Prayag. Disappointed, but still determined to see the Lord, Lokanātha Gosvāmī decided to set off again for Prayag. This time, however, Mahaprabhu appeared to Lokanātha Gosvāmī and in a dream told him to stop moving Vrindavan to perform his bhajan. Not long after, Rupa Gosvāmī, Sanatana Gosvāmī, Gopal Bhatta Gosvāmī, and other associates started coming to live in Vraj. Their association brought to Lokanātha Gosvāmī its joy. When Rupa Gosvāmī was getting old, he found it difficult to walk all the way to take darshan of Gopal. Seeing his intense desire, Gopal came to stay at the house of Vittaleshwar in Mathura, ostensibly out of Muslim. Sorry, I'm not even familiar with this word. Ostensibly out of fear of Muslim iconoclasts, but actually show his mercy to Rupa Gosvāmī. The real reason he was there is the deity stayed there for a month, during which time Rupa Gosvāmī for his darshan with Lokanātha Gosvāmī and other Gaudiyas. One second. The extent to which Bhugarbha Gosvāmī was dear to Lokanātha Gosvāmī is described in Bhakti 1.3.17. Gopal Bhatta Gosvāmī was extremely compassionate. Bhugarbha Gosvāmī and Lokanātha Gosvāmī are a gold mine of virtues. That's Bhakti Ratnakara 6.5.10. Lokanātha Gosvāmī worshipped Radha and Krishna in deep separation. He was afraid of the slightest amount of fame. Thus, he forbade Krishna Kaviraj Goswami to write anything about him in the Caitanya Charitamrita, with the result that nothing was written about him. There is other than his name. Sanatana Goswami also mentioned his name in the Mangalacharan to the Hari Bhakti Vilas, as well as in his Vaishnav Toshani commentary to the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And we just read about how Gopal Bhatta Goswami also requested Krishnadas Kaviraj to mention his name, right? Where are we? Vrindavanam Priyam Vande Shri Govinda Padashritam Shri Srimad Kashishwaram Lokanātham Shri Krishna Dasakam. I pay obeisance to Kashishwar Lokanāth Gosvāmī and Krishnadas Kaviraj Gosvāmī, who have taken shelter of Lord Govinda's lotus feet, and to whom residence in Vrindavan is very dear. Lokanāth and Radha Vinod. Just checking the comments again. Okay. No worries, Manjari, Didi. Okay. Lokanāth and Radha Vinod. Gosvāmī constantly traveled throughout Vraj, ecstatically visiting the various holy places where Krishna had engaged in his pastimes. Once he went to Kadirvan. Then he visited Kishori Kund near the village of Umarao by Chatravan. He stayed there for time to do his bhajan in isolation. He developed a deep desire to worship Radha and Krishna in their deity form. The Lord knows the desires of his devotees and feels himself obliged to fulfill them. He came personally to give Gosvāmī a deity, telling him before disappearing that its name was Radha Vinod. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up here. When Lokanāth Gosvāmī heard these words, tears began to flow from his eyes. He quickly started cooking for Radha Vinod and then made an offering that the deity ate with great satisfaction. Lokanāth Gosvāmī then made Radha Vinod a bed of flowers. He placed him, fanned him with branches, and joyfully massaged his feet. Lokanāth Gosvāmī did himself to Radha Vinod in body, mind, and soul. Lokanāth Gosvāmī wondered where he would keep his deity, as he was constantly wandering through the land of Vraj. Finally, he decided to make a large bag, which he made into Radha Vinod's temple, travel temple. Wearing the bag around his neck, he was able to keep his worshipable deity close to his heart, like a necklace. When they saw the affectionate relationship between Lokanāth Gosvāmī and his Lord, the people of Vraj were attracted to him and asked if they could be Radha Vinod. But Lokanāth Gosvāmī refused. His spirit of renunciation was so strong that he declined to accept anything, but what he absolutely needed for the deity's service. Narottam Das becomes Lokanāth Gosvāmī's disciple. After spending some time at Kishori Kund, Lokanāth Gosvāmī came to Vrindavan. He learns that Rupa Goswami and Gosvāmī had ended their pastimes in this world and lamented their departure. At around this time, Narottam Das, who is the son of Raja Krishnananda Datta of Gopalpur in Rajshahi, now in Bangladesh, came to Vrindavan and met him there. Many years earlier, Nityananda Prabhu cried in divine ecstasy on his way to Nilachal. Okay. Mahaprabhu stored this divine love with the Padmavati river for Narottam Das Thakur's benefit. Since then, the place has become to be known as Prematali. Years later, when Das Thakur took his bath in the river at Prematali, he was immediately overcome with prem and was inspired to cut off all families and go to Vrindavan. Upon his arrival in Vraj, Narottam Thakur received the grace of Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, and Lokanāth Goswami. He received Lokanāth Goswami's special mercy, for he became one of his one and only disciple. Lokanāth Goswami was extremely renounced and had made a vow not to accept any disciples. But Narottam Das also made a vow to take initiation other than Lokanāth Goswami. Narottam Thakur repeatedly asked Lokanāth Goswami to give him initiation, but Lokanāth Goswami was firm in his refusal. Okay. Sorry. Dang it, I keep that every time I go to change it on my computer. Okay. In order to win his favor, Narottam Thakur told the knight to clean the area he used the toilet. Lokanātha Gosvāmī was so surprised to see that the place was being kept clean and free from the bad odor that and so he became so curious that he let me read that. Lokanātha Gosvāmī was so surprised to see the place was being kept clean and free from the bad odor that he became curious to find out who was doing this service. One night, he went and hid there in some bushes, chanting japa the entire night. At midnight, someone engaged in cleaning the place and asked him who he was. When he saw who it was, Lokanātha Gosvāmī... Oh, sorry. Okay. At midnight, Lokanātha Gosvāmī saw someone come and begin cleaning the place. When he saw who it was, Lokanātha Gosvāmī was astonished that Narottam Thakur, the king, was engaged in doing such a filthy task. He felt embarrassed and asked him what his purpose was in doing it. Narottam Thakur immediately began to cry. He fell at Lokanātha Gosvāmī's feet. "My life is useless unless I obtain your mercy." When Lokanātha Gosvāmī saw Narottam Thakur's humility and pain, his resolve to never give initiation softened, and he imparted him. This is a perfect example of how one can win over the worshipable deity with selfless service. Narottam Das took initiation from Lokanātha Gosvāmī for the month of Shravan. Since then, Narottam Thakur was engaged in selfless and sincere service to Lokanātha Gosvāmī. However, for the benefit of the entire world, and especially to the people of northern Bengal, Lokanātha Gosvāmī sent Narottam Thakur for preaching there. Oops. Sorry, one second. Lokanātha Gosvāmī was a much renounced Vaishnava, but he saw Narottam Thakur, someone who not only had a cultured background, but enthusiasm and taste for dealing with people. As a result, he asked him to go back to his homeland and to preach Krishna consciousness. One has taken full shelter of the Supreme Lord and is situated on the transcendental platform of service to the Lord. Then he has no enthusiasm for engaging in activities for the welfare of people on the bodily platform. When a devotee of Narottam Das's caliber goes principle, then such activities themselves are honored and they increase in prestige. So Narottam Thakur returned to northern Bengal on the order of his spiritual master and began to pure devotional service, and thus delivered the people of his homeland. In his collection of songs known as Prarthana, Narottam Das Thakur has written, "Aneka dukhero loye chile vrajapure kadore kalaya bhiya daivamaya balatkare khasai ashe tore bhavakupe dile kadari bhavakupe." It says kilik here, it's dilek. Dile kadari. After suffering much sadness, O Lord, you brought me to Vraj, pulling me by the rope of mercy, which you had tied around my neck. Maya and fate forced me back into this well of material existence by that rope of mercy. Lokanātha Gosvāmī left this world somewhere around 1510 Shaka, that's 1589 AD. He left on the 8th day, dark moon in the month of Ashad. His Samadhi tomb is found in the Radha Gokulananda temple in Vrindavan. His beloved Radha Vinodidi continues to be served in that same temple. Jai Śrīla Lokanātha Gosvāmī Pada Ki Jai. And let me just find something online. 1 second. That's from his Samadhi in Vrindavan. There's Radha Vinod. These are the original Radha Vinod in Jaipur. So I used to keep them around his neck. They don't look so small. Let's see. Radha Vinod Jaipur. Let's see some more pictures. Looks a lot like Radharaman, kind of very similar to Radharaman, huh? I didn't even realize. Wow, beautiful. Photo. Tools, size, large. Yeah, okay. And that's not a large photo. Anyways. Open imaging tab. So beautiful. I wonder who's sitting on both sides. Is that that's baby Krishna and baby Radha? Okay, 1 second. I just want to see on Bhakti. I want to see my Gurudev's explanation also on the pastime where Lokanātha Gosvāmī. Looks like my internet's not working though. All right, maybe we should just end here. There are a couple really nice songs. One is Aha Prabhu Lokanāth Doya Koromori by Śrīla Das Thakur. And there's Lokanātha Prabhu Tumi. Now, what is it? 2 songs by Śrīla Das Thakur. But I'm not sure if we translated them yet. We may have. Let me look. Ha Prabhu. No, that comes up. Anywhere. Oh, you can't even see my. Or we could just let's sing it from. We can just check. Oh my God! How long have you guys been staring at my face for? Staring at my screen this whole time. That's embarrassing. Have I not been sharing my screen this whole time? I'm really spaced out, guys. I'm sorry. Yes, Vishwanath Chakravarti has written Gu Ashtakam. You know, maybe Srivas translated that. Gaudiya. No, what is it called? Gaudiya GSR. Let's see. I need to organize my files really bad. Anyways, let's just sing from songs.org. Okay. Ha ha Prabhu Lokanātha. Here. Okay, I'm just getting my mridanga and then this and then we'll. Let's do translation first. O Lokanātha, O my master, Please be merciful to me and bless me that Shri Shri Radha Krishna's feet may always be manifest within my mind. I wish to have your association when this is by Narottam Das. I wish to have your association when you manifest your form as a gopi friends of the divine couple. This desire continually arises in my mind. O Master, when by your mercy will I be allowed to serve the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani, the best of all gopis? If you will fulfill her, then I will be able to blissfully serve the lotus feet of the divine couple. Shri Rup Manjari, O friend of the divine couple, please cast your glance of mercy upon me. Please sprinkle this distressed Narottam Das with the neck devotional service. Okay, just 1 second. Okay, you did see the pictures. Good. Uttam Krishna Prabhu would sing this. How does it do? Lokanātha Prabhu mi daya karo more. Anyways, I'm just going to sing it in a simple tune though. Lokanātha Prabhu tumi daya karo more. Radha Krishna charane jeno sada chita svore. Tomara sahite thaki sakira sahite etoba sana mor sada uthe chite. Saki gana jeshta jeho Mahārāja amore samarpibe kabe sevakarane. Tabe se hoibe mor vanchita puran. Anande se vivo dohar jugala charan. Shri Rupa Manjari Sakhi Kripa Drishte Chaya Tapi Narottamar Sincho Sevamrita Deva. Let's sing this song. Ha Ha Prabhu Lokanātha. Where would that be? Is it Rako Pandey? I think. Ha Ha Prabhu Lokanātha. Okay, so here's another song. O Lokanātha Gosvāmī, O Master, please place me at your lotus feet. If you are pleased with me, Please place your merciful glance upon me. If you are satisfied with me, then all the wishes of my mind be attained, and my thirst for happiness will be satiated. If you are satisfied with me, then I will attain the association of Lord Caitanya. If you are satisfied with me, then I may be able to attain the association of Shishi, Radha, and Krishna. O Master, if you do not become merciful to me, then what will become of me? Please fill my mind's desire at least this one time. In the entire world, there is no one as much in need of your mercy as I am. Please be merciful to me and give me shelter at the soles of your lotus feet. Although he spends all his days glorifying the trend pastimes and virtues of Radha and Krishna, Narottam Das knows that his desire to attain their association cannot be fulfilled without your mercy. Ha ha Prabhu Lokanātha Rako pada dande Kripa drishte chaho jadi hoya anande Mano vancha siddhi tobe Apurna Trishna Hete Chaitanya Mile Setha Radha Krishna Tumina Korile Doya Ke Koibe Yaro Mera vasana purna karo ye param etina sangsare mor ar ke honai kripa kori nija pada tale deho Radha Krishna Lila Guna Gaura Narottama Ancha Purna Nahetu Abhine Ah Prabhu Lokanātha Rako pada Kripa drishe chaho jadi hoya anande Jaya Lokanātha Prabhu Lokanātha Lokanātha Prabhu Lokanātha. Okay, now we can sing Jai Ani Premadhan Karuna Prachur. Actually, I remember Shiva make a translation of that song in Srila Vāman Gosvāmī Maharaj's letter book, because Srila Vāman Gosvāmī, he quoted this whole song, but he changed this first part, Haha Prabhu Gurudev Rako Pada Dande Padrishte Chaho Jadi. Should have sent this out on the Kobe. It's just been so busy. Okay. So, was it Jaya Nila Premadhana? Oh, that's interesting. Lokanātha Gosvāmī is in here, huh? Kahamosaru. But anyways, it's Narottam. So I guess Lokanātha Gosvāmī was still on the planet when Narottam Thakur wrote this. Jaya Nilo Prema Dhana Karuna Pracho He Prabhu Kota Gela Acharya Thakur Kahamor Sarup Rupa Sanatan Kahadasa Raghunatha Patitapan Kahamor Bhatta Juga Kaha Kaviraj Eko Kale Kota Gela Gora Nataraj Pashan Tibo Mata Analepo Tibo Goranga Gunera Nevota Gele Pabo O Goranga Gunera Nede Kota Gele Pabo Se Saba Sangir Sange Koilo Vilas Se Sangana Paya Kandeo Tama Das Jaya Nilo Prem Dhana Karuna Prachur Heno Prabhuta Gelaya Charya Thakur Heno Prabhuta Gela Lokanātha Gosvāmī Thakur Heno Prabhuta Gela Lokanātha Gosvāmī Thakur Jaya Saparshara Jaya Gaura Hari Saparshara Jaya Gaura Hari Jaya Saparshara Jaya Gaura Hari Saparshara Gaura Hari Prabhu Lokanātha 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 Prabhu Lokanātha. I'm curious if she's actually translated the Lokanātha Gosvāmī Ashtaka. I'm just gonna check really quickly. My files are a bit ago. JSON I'm going to add Sanskrit songs translation in English. Okay, this is what Chivas translated from Gaudiya Stotra Ratnamala till August 2020. He's translated more songs since then. Let's see. Yeah, I want to publish this. Gaudiya Stotra Ratnamala is 90 ashtakams and things by all of our Let me just. Oh wow, this is a messy file. Why do I have? This is not the file I was looking for. But anyways, okay, we put the song in Guru Charana Smaranashtakam. No, it doesn't look like. Oh, well, let's see. Nope. Srinivasashtakam, Shamanashtakam, Shrimad Hari Thakurashtakam. There, Srivas did translate it. Oh, but this should be on 4 lines. Let me just make all the 4 lines. Then I can make the text bigger and you can read it. Gaura-parṣada. Sorry, guys. Okay. There, now I'm just going to make this text bigger so that you can all clearly read it. So this is a very raw translation. It hasn't been checked, hasn't been anything. The first draft of a translation that Srivas did. Is Cambria? I mean, no. What is it called? Calabria. There. Okay, we'll read the translation, and then you guys are the first people to be translation. The first people after Srivas. Shri Krishna Chaitanya's mercy is his only cherished wealth. His heart is ornamented with the golden ornament of love for Shri Gaur. I repeatedly fall to the ground and take shelter of that Shri Lokanātha Prabhu. He dwells eternally in Shri Vrindavan. Let me see if everybody's still there. It's still working. Oh, no. Wait, Kishore, are you asking about the Gaudiya Stotra Ratnamala? Yes, Gaudiya Stotra Ratnamala not available yet. We still need to finish translating all the stotrams. As I mentioned, you're the first people seeing this right now. First people ever other than Srivas. He dwells eternally in Shri Vrindavan. Shri Krishna's loving pastimes and Ras Leela to his heart. Meanwhile, he is always absorbed in fulfilling his duties. I take shelter of that Shri Lokanātha Prabhu. He constantly manifests attachment for Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Bhaktas, devotees of the Lord, and spends the entirety of the 8 periods of the day and night in the 9 limbs of Bhakti dedicated to Shri Radha and Krishna. I take refuge of that master, Shri. Who here is not immersed in relishing service to the lotus of Shri Radha Krishna, the king and queen of Vrindavan? Everyone is constantly savoring that ras. Amid the congregation of these adept masters, he is most praiseworthy. I have taken shelter of that master, Shri Lokanātha. He exhibits sorrow when he sees people averse to relishing the pastimes of Shri Krishna. He himself shows great yearning to relish those times. I take shelter of that master, Shri Lokanātha. scholar by the name Sri Narottam was well acquainted with his renunciation of the senses is renowned everywhere. I take shot of that master, Sri Lokanātha. By his favor, even fools enter the path of Raganuga Bhakti, are devoted and guided by spontaneous loving attachment, and become free from sorrow. He is not hostile even towards aparadhis, heartless offenders. I take refuge of that master, Lokanātha. Having obtained the service of the servant of his servant, I consider my life. Very soon I will enter his assembly of devotees. I take shelter of that Sri Lokanātha Prabhu. Whoever recites the Sri Lokanātha Ashtakam, which is the essence of religiosity, wealth, ambition, and liberation, will attain the bliss of Srimati Radhika, guidance of the Sakis. His shining eye delivered me from a dense dark well and has set me on the path of his divine love. Aha, by his mercy, I have attained a secluded spot near Sri Govardhan, the source of transcendental pastimes. I pray to attain of that Sriman Lokanātha in the hollow of his mercy. This is by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. What's the meter for this? Soyam Shri Lokanātha Spuru Kriparasha. No. Anyways, we'll figure it out when we get to Ya Krishna Chaitanya Kripai Kavitas Pat Prema Hema Bharana Adyachita Nipatya Bhuma Atata Namastum Lokanātham Prabhumashraya Nipatya Bhuma Satatamama Stum Lokanātham Prabhumashrayama Yolabda Vrindavana Nityavasa Parispurat Krishasarasa Swacharya Satata Virangsam Viramastam Lokanātham Prabhumasha Swacharya Satata Mas Tam Lokanātham Prabhumashrayama. Oops, I know these lines. The tongue goes 4. Okay. Sadula Bhagavatanuraktya Ya Krishna Radha Shanadi Bhaktya Ayatayami Krita Sarvayas Tam Lokanātham Prabhumashrayama Vrindavana Dishadabjas Deva Swadenu Majanti Nahanta Keva Yateshvapi Shlagayata Shlagyatam Abhiramas Tam Lokanātham Prabhumashrayama Ya Krishna Lila Rasa Eva Lokan Anunmukham Viksha Bharti Shokam Swayam Tarashvadamamatra Kamas Tam Lokanātham Pumashrayama Kripa Balam Yasya Viveda Kashchit Narottamo Nama Mahan Vipashchit Yasya Pratiyan Vishayo Paralokanātham Prabhumashrayama Aganugavamaniya Prasada Vishanta Vigya Abhinirvishada Jane Krita Ghasya Piyastvavams. Again. Ajane Krita Ghasya Piyastvavamas. Tam Lokanātham Prabhumashayama Yadasa Dasanugdasa Dasa Vayam Pavamapalita Bhilasha Yadiyatam Sahasa Vishamastam Lokanātham Mashayama Shilokanathashtakamatyudaram Bhakta Parya Purusharsaram Sanjulali Paravim Prapadya Shiradikam Sevata Eva Sada Prabhula. Actually, let's do this last verse now. So Yam Shri Lokanātha Sputo Puru Kripa Rashni Biswa Samudti Anudrityo Drityayo Yona Prachuratamattam Kupato Dipta no Tamakwato Diptavi no sorry Drig Swaprema Vitta Dishamadish Dahoyam Shrita Divya Lila Ratnadhyam Binamanavayam Apinibritam Shila Govardhanam. Sorry about that, guys. I need to figure out the meter for that. Tam Lokanātham Prabhumashrayama Tam Lokanātham Prabhumashrayama Tam Lokanātham Prabhumashrayama Tam Lokanātham Prabhumashrayama Jaya Lokanātha Prabhu Lokanātha Prabhu Lokanātha Prabhu Lokanātha Prabhu Lokanātha Lokanātha Prabhu Lokanātha. Sorry guys, I've never sung this before. This is the first time I ever sing it. Yeah, this is a really awesome book though. Gaudiya Stotra Ratnamala. It is published by Śrīla Gosvāmī Mahārāja, and about 90 ashtakams and stotrams by all our acharyas, Śrīla. And I prepared Hindi, Bengali, and yeah, just Hindi and Bengali. Now I need to get ready in English, and eventually this will be on the Gaudiya Kirtan app. But yeah, it's a really awesome book. But we still have a lot to go, a lot more to try. Slowly but surely, we're getting through it all. I'll do mantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. I'm going now in 20 minutes from now, I'm going to be going to Mayapur, and we're going to be doing a program with Tridandi Maharaj at Damodar Prabhu's and Bhanumati's house. Yeah. So, Jai Hari ki Jai, Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju ki Jai, Shri Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan Ju ki Jai, Jai Shri Gurudev ki Jai, Jai Shri Param Gurudev ki Jai, Jai Shri Prabhupada ki Jai, Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Var ki Jai, Sāpārshad Shri Gaur Nityananda Prabhu ki Jai, Shri Radha Krishna Gopigan ki Jai, Shri Giriraj Mahārāja ki Jai, Shri Tulsi Vrinda Devi ki Jai, Shri Bhakti Devi ki Jai, Shri Purnamasi Yogamai ki Jai, Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev ki Jai, Shri Lokanātha Gosvāmī Par ki Jai, Tadiya Shubha Thiruvātiti ki Jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai, Shri Nitai Gaur Preman Hari Hari Bol. Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavashacha Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Sattvatai Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyai Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat pranams. Okay, Kishore Prabhu. Yes, I will do so. I'll stop at Srila Bhaktivedanta Bharati Goswami Maharaj's Samadhi on the way also, so I can do that. Haribol, everybody. See you all tomorrow for the last chapter of Srila Prabhupada's purports, chapter 13. All right, Haribol.